All right, well, it is officially 12:30, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with our presentation here. Be sure to put all of your questions into the chat. Thank you all so much for joining us. It is so wonderful to have so much enthusiasm greet us with this upcoming event and training. We had quite a few RSVPs to our event. We're really excited for everyone to be here. My name is Bethany Duyser. I'm the Assistant Director at the IMPART Alliance, and I work in our training program for direct care workers. Joining me today is Tam Cordes, our course coordinator for the training program, as well as Chris Zare, the administrative assistant at our training program for direct care workers. Our other team member, Angela Partridge, is our newest team member, and she will be supporting the coordination of our clinical skills labs and curriculum. And so you may also see her on some of our information materials as they are coming out. So thank you all for joining us. So IMPART Alliance, just a little bit of background. IMPART stands for an integrated model for personal assistant research and training, and was started years ago based on the work of our director, Dr. Claire Luz. Dr. Luz previously worked on the development of a training program for direct care workers called Building Training, Building Quality, which has grown into the IMPART Alliance that we know today. All of our programming is built on her years of experience, research, advocacy, and innovation to advance the interests of the direct care work profession. And our training program is based on the belief that the quality of job performance by direct care workers and the quality of care outcomes of the individuals that they support are inextricably tied. And therefore, access to high quality direct care worker education improves both jobs and care. And by advancing both, we contribute to a more just community and a healthier future for everyone. So thank you to all the direct care workers here today, not just for being here, but for giving us the reason and the means to deliver this work. We want this program to be for direct care workers by direct care workers. And I think these trainings just scratch at the surface of the potential of Michigan's direct care workforce. So thank you for your hard work, for the supports that you provide to older adults and people with disabilities in our state. And thank you for being a part of our communities. The picture on this screenshot here is one of our recent virtual synchronous instructor-led courses. And I think it just represents some of the best parts of our training program. Our instructors, getting to know your colleagues across the state, learning from one another's experiences, and that it leverages technology and adult learning activities to build knowledge competencies and critical thinking for Michigan's direct care workers. So on behalf of all the staff at IMPART Alliance, we want to thank you for your commitment to this important work and for your time spent with us today. Welcome. Before we get started into really describing the nuts and bolts of this program, I'd like to make sure that I acknowledge the people who played a role in the development and implementation of IMPART Alliance's direct care worker training program on this slide. I'd also like to recognize that this free training opportunity is funded by a $25 million grant from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services using American Rescue Plan Act Home and Community-Based Services Spending Plan funds. And one of our objectives going on right now with our funding is to support the direct care workforce by providing training and expanding the training options and ability for direct care workers to obtain the competencies that they need to do their work. Our goal in the following slides is to inform you about the training opportunities and encourage you or your colleagues to consider taking some of our training. By participating in this training, you're also going to be supporting the growth of our curriculum. We value everyone's feedback about how we can best support direct care workers to become workplace ready. So it's a really exciting time and an exciting opportunity. So the desired outcome of our training program, like I mentioned, is twofold. First, to support you and your colleagues as direct care workers to obtain the knowledge and skills you need to do your job well, and then also to evaluate a strategy for delivering high quality competency-based training to a growing workforce in the state. So who should take our training? any direct care worker or future direct care worker. We know that direct care workers are sometimes employed by agencies, they're sometimes self-employed, perhaps you are unemployed. This program has opportunities for you. Perhaps you have worked in direct care in the past and you're looking to come back with some additional training and knowledge. Maybe you're interested in pursuing a career in healthcare and want to get some experience in a direct care role as you pursue other healthcare fields like nursing or physical therapy. Or maybe you're just exploring the potential of a career in direct care and want to take a little bit of training to get some more information and see what it's like. So our classes, our program has opportunities for new direct care workers to build on their skills, as well as opportunities for seasoned direct care workers who are seeking to expand their knowledge base and to advance their professional development by participation. We also have opportunities for really experienced, knowledgeable direct care workers who are interested in potentially training other direct care workers. Our training program does not require that our trainers hold licenses in any other disciplines. Instead, we seek direct care workers or individuals who work closely with direct care workers with a lot of experience in direct care work, with a lot of knowledge and competencies and training to share who are interested in becoming trainers. So what does our program consist of? The Direct Care Worker Training Program at IMPART Alliance consists of 4 levels of classes on topics relevant to every corner of direct care. Our course is developed around the 15 state-adopted competencies that all direct care workers need. The class lists are coming up in a few slides. But what else should you know about our program? It's competency-based, which means it prepares students to achieve the knowledge and skill statements required for performing direct care work. It's person-centered. Our curriculum is developed around the belief that a person is the expert in their own life, and their supports and services should be informed by their own goals, values, and preferences. And here at IMPART Alliance, we take that value of person-centered thinking and apply it to the delivery of our training program. And that means that we believe that direct care workers are experts in their own lives, profession, and training. And we want to bring personalized education experiences to those direct care workers that acknowledge their individual goals, values, and preferences for their careers. And this program is meant to address direct care work as a professional career. So our training is not built only to prepare you for a single role or a single workplace. Instead, because our trainings are competency-based, direct care workers from different jobs and settings can benefit from shared training experiences, right? We want to support people to gain the competencies they need to be successful in this workplace and also learn about other work opportunities that they want to incorporate into a lifelong career in direct care. How do we deliver this program? We use a virtual hybrid training program, again, taught in 4 levels. We teach our courses synchronously, which means they are live. And they are led by certified trainers. So we offer quite a few of our classes in virtual format on Zoom at a live time. So they are all happening for students at the same time, where they interact and participate in live Zoom classes under the direction of a trained instructor. We also have a hybrid format, which means we have some live in-person learning experiences through in-person hands-on skills labs that are incorporated in the 4th level of the curriculum. And why is this training important? Because it helps to develop the competencies needed to work as an excellent direct care worker. And it's going to improve the services and skill sets of Michigan's direct care workforce. We believe that we are uniquely suited for this objective because IMPART Alliance cares about workforce issues faced by direct care workers. We understand the workplace challenges encountered by this sector. We are engaged in the process of supporting direct care worker credentialing and recognition, and we stay informed about relevant regulation and payer information throughout the industry. And finally, IMPART Alliance is actively participating in advocacy for direct care every day. So what do you got to do if you're interested in taking some classes? They are being offered soon. We have levels 1 through 3 being delivered virtually. In order to participate, You will be able to participate from wherever you are, as long as you have internet access and a computer that allows you to use a camera and microphone for applications like Zoom. In level 4, the hybrid virtual classes are taught on site at hands-on skills training labs. Currently, our locations and times for those classes are still limited as we are building our network, but it is growing, and we intend to offer an increasing number of sites and times in the near future. So we are expanding our network statewide. Again, classes are taught synchronously, so they occur at scheduled times. The schedule of available class times are listed in the link. So we are going to post a QR code and a link that will take you to sign up for classes, and it will tell you all of the time availabilities for the different classes and courses. And that will lead you to register for them and guide you into our learning management system called Ability. And that is a digital platform that supports students to sign up for classes, enroll in classes, get into their classrooms, get their class materials, submit quizzes, certificates, all of those kinds of communication things. So we are fully supported with a digital suite of tools. And so if you're interested in signing up, again, we're going to post a QR code here in a minute and the link to prompt you to register. So what exactly should you expect class-wise? So again, 4 levels of training courses. Level 1 consists of 12 one-hour synchronous virtual instructor-led classes. And as you can see from the list here, they cover the competencies that every direct care worker needs to know when they go out in the field to work with people. You'll see a heavy focus on person-centered thinking, as well as some of those really essential skills for direct care work, like abuse, neglect, and exploitation reporting and infection control. We call this the direct care fundamentals because these are essential fundamental skills. Level 2 is also 12 hours of virtual synchronous instructor-led content. Each of these modules is 1 hour in length, and these cover a little more depth and detail in some of the content that direct care workers need to know about the populations that direct care workers frequently work with and provide supports and services to. So completion of all 12 of these classes earns what we call the Direct Care Associate Level 2 certificate. And then level 3 here in purple, these are 6 classes. They are also virtual synchronous 1 hour instructor-led classes in a 6-class series, each 1 hour in length, and they cover the instrumental activities of daily living, cooking, cleaning, shopping, for direct care workers who provide home skills and services for individuals. And finally, level 4, as you can see here, is our longest level. Level 4 consists of 20 hours of instruction, either virtual synchronous, or in one case here, class 410, it is a pre-recorded asynchronous self-directed class. So 19 hours of virtual synchronous instructor-led courses over Zoom on topics about personal care, healthcare services and supports. And then finally, the last part of level 4 here are 3 in-person live skills lab hands-on experiences where students will practice and demonstrate competency in those personal care skills. And that happens in 3 sessions, and they are 4 to 6 hours in length each. So completion of all these classes and these 3 labs will earn what we call a personal care direct care specialist. Personal direct care specialist certificate. Completion of all 4 levels, which is a total of 66 hours, including the virtual classes and hands-on lab experiences, will earn a direct care worker certificate of completion from IMPART Alliance. So these are some pictures from our very first in-person Train the Trainer event for our in-person skills labs in August. And I would just like to point out that all of our trainers complete a Train the Trainer course, and this ensures that they have the competencies necessary to perform both virtual instruction and then eventually to lead skills lab demonstrations. And this picture from our Train the Trainer lab this past month was the first time that we were able to get trainers in to be prepared for those hands-on skills lab. And they are so wonderful and enthusiastic and ready to disseminate our standardized training programs to lab sites across the state and to direct care workers across Michigan. So if you're interested in becoming a trainer, please let us know. We, again, believe experienced direct care workers are the best experts to train their colleagues in the field. Also, if you are a community partner with a healthcare skills lab or an employer that has a comparable space, and you're looking for an exciting competency-based training option that can be delivered at your site, please let us know. We are really trying to build our network and our engagement throughout dynamic collaborations in the community all across the state. So these are wonderful pictures, and I think they really capture the enthusiasm amongst our trainers for this program. So at the completion of each level, a student will earn a certificate of completion for that level. These certificates are not reciprocal with other existing credential requirements. For example, a certified nursing assistant certificate or the DSP training requirements. However, IMPART Alliance, our direct care worker training program, was designed in response to the 15 competencies for all direct care workers that was developed and adopted by the Direct Care Worker Advisory Committee. And so we know that the knowledge and skills topics in our curriculum will resonate across all populations and work settings. And we are also actively working on developing a direct care worker professional credential as an organization. IMPART Alliance is engaged in a project with a nationally recognized consulting partner to help us pursue a potential direct care worker professional credential. And we are looking forward to seeing how that project results and for its potential adoption and recognition in the future. We believe that the need for more direct care workers across the state means that we need more paths to entering this field. And we are not seeking to limit or replace any other pathways to direct care. But we want to make sure that we support people to get into this profession and fill the needs in their communities, while also ensuring that they have access to comprehensive competency-based training that reflects the important work that they will be doing. Just a few FAQs. So you will see as you sign up for classes that they are scheduled, and you register for a series of classes in a level. And if you sign up for one, but then something happens and you are unable to make a class, we know life happens. No one can anticipate their perfect schedule forever. So there will be makeup opportunities available, and we will work with you to make sure that you're able to get all the classes needed that you desire to finish a certificate. Each class does have a knowledge competency quiz at the end of it. If you are having trouble passing a quiz or you need some sort of support or accommodation to complete your quiz, we work with students to make sure that they have multiple opportunities to pass, or if they need some one-on-one support and review, we can make sure we offer that to you as well. Technology is required because participation is required in each class. A lot of our activities are interactive, so we need students to be able to use a camera and microphone in those synchronous live Zoom instructor-led classes. So access to a computer with high-speed internet, a camera, and Zoom are required. And these classes are designed for professionals who participate in direct care or are seeking to work as direct care workers. They are focused on professionalism and professional boundaries. So they may not be a perfect fit for someone who's doing more familial, unpaid kinship caregiver work. They're also not really designed for people who hold other credentials, for example, nurses or social workers. But I will say we have had brand new DCWs and very experienced DCWs in the same class, and they have both reported that the nature of the instructor-led interactive class gave them an opportunity to contribute in a valuable way and learn something new that enhanced their practice. And finally, our trainers are certified by IMPART Alliance. They complete a Train the Trainer course, as well as having had experience in the field providing direct care work or working closely with direct care workers. And so with that, I'm going to open up to questions. And while we're going through some of these questions, I'm going to go ahead and post that QR code. If you are interested in registering for level 1, you can use this QR code or the link in the chat. And then also, here is all of our information. If you're interested in continuing this conversation, you have additional questions, or you just want to reach out at some point in the future, please learn more about our initiatives for different activities we're doing to professionalize and advance the workforce on our Facebook or our website. And so with that, again, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and ask Tam and Chris to let me know what kinds of questions are we getting.
Thank you, Bethany. Is this training going to become a state requirement for DCWs in Michigan?
It is not currently a state requirement that all direct care workers complete this particular training. As you may be familiar, the direct care workforce currently has a patchwork of different training requirements depending on perhaps the program or the payer that they are working with. For example, certified nursing assistants do have mandatory training from a nurse aid training program that outlines what topics and duration, all those elements. And that differs greatly from those required by community mental health organizations for DSPs. So there is currently a patchwork of different direct care worker requirements, and our course does not replace or supersede or in any way change any of those. We are just offering one that is competency-based, that is comprehensive, and really offers training in some of those areas where maybe that training isn't required or available for someone, and they can take ours. But as of right now, no, like our program alone is not enforced or required. But I do think that it is very helpful for the direct care workers who are working in every setting, whether it's home-based care, more residential care, working with older adults, individuals with disabilities who aren't older. Everyone, this is a great opportunity for them to learn some of those competencies that, again, were recommended by the Direct Care Worker Advisory Committee as representing the competencies needed to be a direct care worker. Does that answer that question okay?
Thank you. How will the training be funded once the grant money runs out, and then who will pay for it?
That is a future goal of ours is to be self-sustaining through a fee-for-service model for our training programs. IMPART Alliance does receive a great deal of grant funding right now. As I mentioned, we're being supported heavily by these MDHHS grants funded by American Rescue Plan Act Home and Community-Based Services Spending Funds. And we are very grateful for that. And that allows us to offer a lot of free training right now. And so we are trying to make sure that we get to as many people as we can to make sure they have access to that free training. In the future, we anticipate using a fee-for-service model. So for individual direct care workers or employers who want to use this training for their employees, they would pay per use for those class times. And IMPART Alliance is a nonprofit organization. Our institutional home is in the College of Osteopathic Medicine at Michigan State University.
I am working for a home care company that is a mini grant recipient. Do we have to use these classes to train direct care workers?
Some mini grant recipients are using our training. Other mini grant recipients are doing other activities. If you would like to, we are certainly supportive of all our mini grantees. We want to make sure that all of their training needs are being met. If they are in need of some support to help train their staff, we have a lot of options and opportunities available. And we would love to work with you to make sure we get you dates, times, access that work well for you. But there is no requirement that every mini grantee utilize our training. Some mini grants are working on other activities. And I will just point out to those who may not be aware, part of the IMPART Alliance funding that we received from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services of those ARPA HCBS funds are being used to fund smaller grants to local organizations to support direct care workforce activities in their communities in the form of a mini grant. And some of those involve training, and we'll be using some of our training, and some involve other activities. But if you are a mini grantee and you're interested in training, please reach out. We would love to hear from you and set something up to meet your needs.
How long is the Train the Trainer course, and what are the qualifications to become a trainer? Where are the trainings held, and can my site host the training? That's a lot of questions.
Oh, those are some great
Wonderful.
questions. So
Yep.
yeah, the Train the Trainer program, right now we divide it into two parts. We start with the virtual Train the Trainer, and that is a 3-session commitment. Each of those sessions is about 3 to 4 hours. Plus, then there is like a demonstration teach back for each trainer candidate where they will be evaluated to make sure that they are delivering content competently. And so that commitment for the virtual training is about, I want to say 24 hours total, and takes a couple of weeks. And those are virtual experiences. And then the in-person training event is an 8-hour, 1-day session. It's a full day in a training lab site. And they can be wherever there's a training lab. So if you have a site and you want to use it, please get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you and check out your site and see if you want to train trainers. That sounds really fun. That Train the Trainer picture that we used, that we had last month, was a great opportunity. And it was really fun for us because it was here on campus at Michigan State University, in their College of Nursing, which is really fun to be on campus. So we're really looking forward to offering more Train the Trainer opportunities. The criteria to become a Train the Trainer, to complete it, we do have an application. If you're interested in seeing that application and considering it, please contact us. We can share it with you. The requirements are experience as a direct care worker or in a comparable field, for example, as a nurse or maybe a physician's assistant, an EMT. So experience doing those direct care worker skills like personal hygiene, etc. And then we also are looking for people with experience doing training or education. So perhaps you've done some management or orientation activities in the workplace, or you've taught a class before. So we're looking for both parts of that in your experience as a professional. And those are our main criteria for participating in Train the Trainer.
Is there any effort to network with county CMHs to get them to accept this training in lieu of the training that they currently require?
I would describe that effort as yes, there is. That is something we're actively considering and pursuing. There are a lot of elements to that process, and obviously it would be up to CMH to accept all of our classes. And I will say that IMPART Alliance, and primarily based on the work of Dr. Claire Luz for so many years, to build relationships with all of these organizations and stakeholders just across the state and across different networks. Really hard at work to make sure we build those relationships. And I think there is a huge appetite for more options for training, for building a more robust network of high quality training experiences that are useful to every direct care worker. So that is an objective that I am hopeful and I am looking forward to working on. Of course, that will be up to CMHs to determine if they will accept our material in the future, but we are actively considering pursuing that. I do not have a timeline on that at this point, but I will say that we value CMHs so much for their commitment to the direct care workforce and their support for direct care worker training, competency, and proficiency.
There are some questions still on here that I feel like we need to just kind of follow up with personally that are maybe a little bit more, not necessarily for the group. What type of training is provided around medication administration?
Oh, medication administration is a great example of a competency-based training that is required by some direct care workers and not others. It is not a part of our core competency, medication administration. We do offer a 1-hour virtual synchronous training on medication assistance for direct care workers who may not administer medications, but support individuals who have medication therapy as part of their healthcare plans, and what that role looks like for direct care workers who only offer assistance in medication administration. We, of course, recognize that there are many direct care worker roles where comprehensive medication administration is expected by that direct care worker. We don't currently offer that course, but it is one that is in development here at IMPART Alliance, and we would like to offer a competency-based training that really addresses direct care worker medication needs. It's something that varies by job type, by payer, by program, by site. And so we want to make sure that we are not superseding or offering training that is in conflict with any of those requirements. So it is still something that we are continuing to explore in the future. But we do have a course on medication assistance for direct care workers, and that is in level 4.
We have time for one more question, which is, how would I go about suggesting and recommending this program to my employer or management? Great question too.
That is a great question. You can share any of this information with them. We are planning to get some form of this webinar posted on our website. And of course, our website also has a lot of other great information about the training program that might be helpful for your employer to explore. We also have a robust network of employers that we engage with, and we're always looking to build it. So if your employer would like to be contacted or would like to reach out to someone here at the IMPART Alliance to learn more about what exactly we're doing, to understand more about opportunities for their employees at our training programs or any of our other programming, we would love to speak with them and to share that information with them. Again, especially because so much of our training is free, and while we have it in this leveled course format, and that's how we're delivering it, all of our courses are designed to be able to be taken standalone. There are a couple that are like 2-part series. So for example, there is a course on dementia, an introduction to dementia in level 2. And then there is a course in level 4 that's kind of like dementia part 2. So those things don't really stand alone. They go together, but all the other topics and content are designed to be able to be taken standalone. So if there is a training need at your workplace that your employer has recognized and wants some tailored specific training from any of these topics to be delivered at their site, that is certainly something that we can also offer here for free in our grant period. So reach out to us. We have a lot of training opportunities. Again, our free opportunities are time limited, but we are excited to reach out to as many people as we can in the meanwhile, and to always, of course, build our collaborative employer network and find out what the needs are at workplaces around the state. I think that answers it. Tam, is there anything else you would want to add?
Somebody had asked, what does medication assistance mean? Can you maybe explain that just a little bit more?
That is a wonderful question. So in our program, we describe medication assistance as supporting an individual who takes their own medications to take their own medications. So that may be something like reminders and queuing, or helping someone with gathering supplies that they might need, like glasses of water, or making sure that someone has a meal if it's a medication that needs to be taken with food, that's available to them. So really, it's more for the direct care worker role who is supporting an individual who manages their own medication administration themselves. And we recognize that in some settings, direct care workers fully administer medications to individuals, perhaps in the instance of what might be called a medication aid or a medication tech, a resident aide in an assisted living or a home for the aged or an adult foster care setting, where they will actually prepare the medication dose, provide it to the individual, or use different routes to give a medication to someone. So our class does not cover that comprehensive administration where the person is giving medication. That does require additional focused content in terms of both the skills lab for the administration skills and some of those pharmacological knowledge competencies about medications by category and their impacts and mechanisms of action. So we don't offer that comprehensive administration course at this point, because again, there are various requirements for different sites, and we are looking at how to create content that is useful for all direct care workers. And that is where we have really come to that medication assistance course. And it covers safety, about medication use, about access to medication, about understanding the different parts of a prescription, about understanding how someone might take their medication and how to talk about it and learn about it, to support the individual who provides themselves with their own medication administration skills.
Thank you.
Of course.
There are a couple more questions. I don't know if you want me to go ahead or if we can just, I have put my email
I
in
know
the
we are
address in
over
the
time.
chat.
I'm happy to keep answering Q&As. I have plenty of time. I recognize, of course, that we are over time. So if you do need to go, because it is after 1 o'clock, thank you so much for joining us. Again, all of our links, information is here. If you come up with a question that you forgot to ask while you were here, you can always send it to us via email and we'll get back to you. Otherwise, if you have a question that's still in the chat and you want to answer it, Tam and I can keep going through a few more here. And I will answer them if you want to stick around.
Well, and I'm not sure if this person is still on, but this person is asking if there's an option for hybrid training for employees of an agency that focuses on non-nursing care. And we might need more.
Yeah,
we need
our content is non-nursing focused. It is for direct care workers. I am a nurse. I sometimes have a little bit of a nurse bias. I am a career-long nurse. I've been a nurse for longer than I care to admit. So that is my educational and licensure background. So sometimes I think I'm biased to say that a lot of our trainers are nurses because I am a nurse, but our content is not from the discipline of nursing. It is focused on direct care work. It is about direct care. And we recognize that direct care has a lot of shared competencies with nurses. It also has a lot of shared competencies with social work, with physical therapy, and just with caregiving in general, right? So if you are a non-nursing focused agency, if you are an agency that provides people with supports and services in the community for things like vocational supports or day services, respite services, hospice services, and you employ direct care workers, which is really any person who provides personal care and support to individuals requiring long-term supports and services, whether that's an adult with a disability or an older adult, you are a direct care worker that we seek to support.
I think we may have covered all of them.
Is that all of them? All right.
So yes. And I apologize if anybody's still on and I missed your question. Go ahead and raise your hand if you're still on and I didn't cover it. There were several questions, really great questions. We appreciate that. My email is in the chat a few different times and in the Q&A. So hopefully everybody's got my information if they need it. So
again, thank you all so much for being here. We are so grateful for this response. We're really excited about all the opportunities that we have to provide free training. And we just want to reach out to every community, to every direct care worker, to every workplace to say that we have these services and we're here to share them. I often say I got nothing better to do than train other people, but I think that's a glib way to represent that this is a project that I am so passionate about. I'm so excited to train direct care workers every time I get the chance. I learn something new from the direct care workers that we train. And I think our program just continues to grow and offer just a lot more opportunities, experiences, and quality. So we're excited to be able to offer our training to anyone who's interested. So thank you again. Thanks all for coming. It sounds like there's no additional questions. And you have our contact information on our website. And we always look forward to hearing from you.